This is an excerpt from the upcoming Pace Cycle Training podcast. Okay, another two road races back to back in the books, and race recap. Came for the 35 plus. Heavy hitters were here today, like all the heavy hitters. So what I realized is it probably wasn't going to be a classic bunch sprint because there's so many good riders that can sprint well and can launch attacks, instigate breakaways, and inside that break do enough work to stay away. So my objective was to stay close to the front and watch to see if a break was forming. And right from the beginning, like there were hits where breaks were trying to get established, and there was multiple times I hit like 700, 800, 900 watts, for 25, 30 seconds, bridging back to a gap that had opened, thinking it was going to be possibly a breakaway. And there was one real strong dig, the way I thought this may be the breakaway. Check it out. Okay, so obviously that didn't turn into anything, but about 7 to 8 minutes later, it just the group kind of disintegrated. You can see when we would come around one corner and we'd be going south, it'd be a huge gust of wind, and maybe 6 or 7 riders just kind of went and nobody did anything. So for about 2 laps, the group just kind of said, they're gone. So let's take a little break for 6-8 minutes, and then let's hit it back again. So going into the final lap, it was going hard, and it's really discombobulated when you're about 3/4 of a meter's out. Riders all across the road, and it's chaos. But somehow I just kind of made it through, and I saw Allison, and I said, well, at least let me go for a sprint just to get something done. And there's one guy that's in my group ride that I had been in the group ride, and all of 2015 I had never beat him once in a sprint. And today that was a little bit of a consolation that I beat him in a sprint. And last year, every 2 months I was getting a little bit closer, and then in Thanksgiving, we did Thanksgiving right, and at the end he like threw me like a huge elbow just before the sprint, and I almost checked out. And the reason that I checked back in is because he had kind of been standoffish of me all year, because I was gradually getting better, and he went from being standoffish to throwing me an elbow. So that was kind of like, oh, he recognized that I'm improving a little bit. So I went from never ever beating him in the sprint to, obviously, beating him at the line. I wasn't sure if it was a classic sprint because there was already 6 people up the road, but I'll take it.
Best trip ever.
My name is Brian, and I'll see you on the bike.